Hello everybody, this is ABCK News, and today we are talking about long QT disease. You know that feeling you get after you run for long periods of time and your heartbeat speeds up? If you have long QT syndrome, your heartbeats will occur at a rapid pace without time to recover. On the graph shown, the letters Q, R, and S represent an individual heartbeat. The letter T represents the recovery time of the heart. If you have a regular QT interval, the recovery time takes about 0.44 seconds. If you have long QT, on the other hand, the recovery time takes about 0.63 seconds. Long QT disease, or long QT syndrome, is a heart rhythm condition that could potentially cause fast, chaotic heartbeats. These rapid heartbeats can trigger sudden fainting or seizures. In some cases, the heart can beat rapidly for so long that it causes sudden death. You can be born with a genetic mutation that puts you at risk of long QT syndrome. In addition, certain medications and medical conditions might cause long QT syndrome. Long QT is treatable, but you may need to take medications to prevent a chaotic heartbeat. In some cases, treatment for long QT syndrome involves surgery or an implantable device. You'll also need to avoid medications known to cause prolonged QT intervals that could trigger your long QT syndrome. Sometimes certain activities or sports may need to be avoided. Here's a pie chart of how people found out they had long QT. As you can see, here are some of the ways people have found out they've had long QT. 57% found out based on their family history. This means that one person in their family at one point in their lives has had long QT. 11% found out based off of overexertion. This means that they have overexercised and caused rapid heartbeats. 2% found out based off of boarded cardiac arrest. This means that their heart started beating rapidly, which caused a heart attack. 23% found out based off of non-long QT syndromes, which basically means that at some random point in their lives, they've had a heart attack or a seizure. 10% found out based off of an ECG screening. This means that somebody has brought them to the doctor to just test. There have been reported less than 200,000 U.S. cases per year. Now let's go down to Austin Robinson.
Thank you, Jake. I'm here with Miles Rice, who has been diagnosed with long QT disease. We're at his house and going to be interviewing him about this disease. So, Miles, what can you tell us about this disease?
Well, many people with long QT disease don't have any signs or symptoms. You might be aware of your condition only from an ECG test because of either family history of long QT or genetic testing results.
That is very interesting, Miles. However, I was wondering how you would know if you needed to take an ECG test.
Well, Austin, the doctors first find a QT interval from an ECG when they're testing for maybe another heart problem like a heart attack.
I've heard that some medications may make this disease worse by lengthening the QT interval and upsetting the heart rhythm. How do you stay away from these medications?
Well, I have done a lot of research on it, as well as having asked my doctor several times about it.
At what age are most people diagnosed with this disease?
The most common age is around 40, but sometimes younger as well.
How old are you and how long have you been dealing with this disease?
I'm 32 and I've been dealing with this disease for about a couple years now.
Another thing I've been wondering about is, are you still able to do everyday things, such as take walks, play sports, and go to the gym?
I am still able to take walks, play sports, and all that kind of stuff, but I still have to be very careful while I'm active.
I have heard that long QT can be very devastating.
Indeed it can. Fainting is the most common symptom caused by long QT disease. Which reminds me, a couple years ago when the first symptoms started showing. I was at work, sitting at my desk, when my heart started beating really fast. It got to the point where I just felt dizzy and then I fainted. I woke up on the way to the hospital, and once I got there, I asked my doctor about what happened. He said that he was going to run a few tests about it and just see what maybe was going on. After the test, he told me that I had been diagnosed with a disease called long QT.
That must have been a very scary experience.
Yes, indeed. I asked my doctor about the fainting, and he said that fainting was a normal part of long QT. Fainting can occur either when you're angry, excited, or exercising, with little to no warning.
I understand from my brief research on long QT that it can cause seizures, correct?
Yes.
This is when the heart beats too fast for too long, causing oxygen to struggle to get to the brain. I also recall that it causes sudden death, which is when the heart doesn't go back to normal and paramedics don't get there in time with the defibrillator.
Yes, indeed. That is very correct.
Thank you for your time, Miles. And now back to you, Jake.
Thank you, Austin. Before we leave y'all, let's take a moment to remember a young woman named Emily who died of long QT at the age of 22. The doctors didn't realize this was a problem, which resulted in sudden death. Thank you. This has been Jake Meehy reporting from ABCK News.
What do I look like?
Let's zoom in on this majestic creature.
It's a Miles Rice in his natural habitat. Disappear.
Thank you, Jake. I'm here with Miles Rice, who has been diagnosed with long QT.
No!
Okay, you got this.
Oh, okay. I've heard that long QT can be very devastating.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I've heard that long QT. I understand from my research that long QT can cause faint.
It's all good.